Hey everyone. So, the other night, the Disney Channel started premiering new episodes of Season 2 of Girl Meets World. Apparently, they aired a new episode almost every night of last week. So, I thought about reviewing the, first episode of Season 2 once it aired, but I didn't really get the chance to watch it, and I'm not sure when I'm going to get a chance to get around to watching any of these episodes, really. So, until then, I thought I'd do a review of my favorite episode from Season 1. Let's take a look at Girl Meets the Forgotten. So, in the opening scene of this episode, Riley, our protagonist, the titular girl who meets the world, says that it's electives day at her school. Basically, they have to sign up for some sort of service elective. Essentially, they're going to learn what it's like to, have a real-world job. This scene gives us some of the best jokes in the episode.
I tried to wake you up 3 times.
You know I don't think you're serious until 6 times.
So Riley heads off to school. So they go to lunch, and after showing a lack of appreciation for the school lunch lady, Riley, our main character, like I said, and her best friend, Maya, are assigned to do, cafeteria duty. Meanwhile, their friends, Lucas and Farkle, are assigned janitorial duty. Along the way, they learn a very interesting lesson about how there are certain people in life who we take for granted, and about how you should have more of an appreciation for them. So what is it I like about this episode so much? Well, first, there's the comedy. The humor in this series can actually be pretty hit or miss at times. The jokes can either be really clever, or they can be pretty dumb. Luckily, this episode has more of the former than it does of the latter.
Who here knows about the Great Depression?
I thought it was called the Grand Canyon.
Excellent. Who here knows about the Great Depression? Maya.
Nothing's gonna beat that, sir.
But where this episode really shines is in its story and in its message, particularly the message. Like I said, the message is essentially about how there are certain people who we take for granted and that we shouldn't take for granted. We shouldn't take these people for granted. It might sound like a kind of a basic message, but trust me when I say that it's done in a very unique way. A way that's very unique, very intelligent, and it's done in a way that I don't think I've really ever seen, like a kid's show episode do a message, like this, in this way. Maybe it's happened before, but I haven't seen it.
This is a 1-week class for you, a grade. But this is my world, and I care very much about what happens back here. Understand?
Yes, Miss
Thompson.
Thompson. Sorry.
We should have known that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember back when I was first watching these, Season 1 episodes of the show. And I remember at one point I was watching a certain episode. I can't remember if it was this episode or a different episode, but there was a certain thought that had gone through my mind. And the thought was this. This show is smarter than Boy Meets World. Now, hold on. I'm not sure if that's something that I would still agree with to this point. In fact, I actually just watched a rerun of an episode of Boy Meets World last night, where, they had a, kind of very similar, not a similar message, but a message that was done in a similarly intelligent way. The episode is called Security Guy, if you're wondering. But yeah, the point is that this show can actually be very, intelligent with the messages that it teaches kids, and I think that it's, something that's, very good for kids to learn about this kind of stuff. Despite the show's problems, yes, it can be very intelligent at times, and I think that this episode and the message in it is a prime example of that, and how, just really just smart this show can be. The message is definitely a really good one for young audience, and I think it is a good show that, if you got a kid, I'd say, sit them down and watch this show, because I think it's a good lesson that they can learn. It's a good lesson for kids, and it's a good lesson for just, maybe young people, or even people in general. And I'm not excluding myself from that. I think it's something that I should learn, too. In fact, ever since I watched this episode, for this review, I've been, trying to be a little more grateful to people like my parents and stuff like that. Another thing that I like about this episode is that it doesn't include any sort of, the typical, useless subplots revolving around Riley's little brother, Augie. Now, I don't really have anything against this character, or, the actor for that matter, but in a lot of episodes, they, it centers around, it has like a main plot with like Riley and her friends and, her father, Corey, and then, you get some kind of subplots, often involving her little brother Augie, and sometimes, involving Topanga as well, the mother. And they're just not, they tend to not be as interesting as the main plots revolving around, Riley and her friends and whatnot. And they often just don't seem like they have much of a purpose outside of padding out the episode's runtime. So overall, I'd give this episode, Girl Meets the Forgotten, an 8.3 out of 10. It's really good. If you're going to watch any episode of this show, I'd recommend trying to check out this one. At least any episode from Season 1, because like I said, I haven't seen Season 2. So go check this episode out. And once you're finished, go thank somebody for something. So yeah, that's all I gotta say, and thanks for watching. Bye.